Hi, I'm Jessica Stutzman from Millcreek Township.
And I'm Chantel Rodriguez. Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel.
Today we're talking with Steve Dunsmore, Lifeguard Manager with DCNR, about their Lake Erie Lifeguard Program and the importance of water safety along our beautiful Presque Isle shores. Steve, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we love having you here on the show every single year after year, and hearing, what's new with the lifeguards, what your program entails, and, how anybody who is interested in joining your program and protecting, the beachgoers of Presque Isle, protecting people and saving lives. That's what you guys do.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. We really appreciate you giving us the opportunity here to help spread the word, whether it's just letting the public know that we're there and we're there to, keep them safe, or if there's a viewer or someone out there that knows someone that would potentially be interested in joining the team this year, as a employee of Presque Isle State Park and the lifeguard staff.
Wonderful.
Can you walk us through what a typical day looks like for you as a Lake Erie lifeguard at Presque Isle?
Absolutely. So we'll assume it's a beautiful 80-degree sunny day in July. The guards will arrive typically by 11 a.m. and they'll spend their first 45 minutes of their day doing some trainings. We'll break them up into 3 different groups. One group will be doing 15 minutes of physical training, while another group will be doing 15 minutes of skills work. For example, they will be practicing rescues or removal, or they could be working with another coworker on 2-man CPR. And then the third group will be doing some type of book work or classroom work, where they'll be reviewing emergency action plans or radio policies. And then we rotate them through, and again, this is all paid training. It's part of their 8-hour workday. After those are completed, we'll send them out to their assigned beach with either their head guard or supervisor for the day, and they'll spend the day out there lifeguarding until approximately 7:15. We'll start pulling individuals out of the water and start breaking down the beach, and by 7:30 we're wrapped up and returning and securing equipment for the day, making sure that it's ready to go for the next day.
And Steve, I just heard a statistic, so you have to correct me if I'm wrong, that Presque Isle sees about 4 million visitors annually. I assume those are mostly in the summer months, but I know people enjoy winter in Erie too. But how many lifeguards does it take to service, and again, possibly up to 4 million people
Sure.
for the summer?
So we have complement for 55 lifeguards on staff, and that includes our lifeguards, our lifeguard supervisors, our lifeguards that are EMR first responder certified, who are out on patrol via ATV or jet ski, and then there's 3 lifeguard managers as well. And there's days where it's all hands on deck, that we need everybody. Just based on events and crowds and lake conditions are constantly changing. So we're always looking for the next and upcoming athletes in the area that would like to join our team.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and what are their main duties once they do get this position of being a lifeguard? What are those main duties looking like?
So our main duties as Lake Erie lifeguards, our philosophy is prevention. We pride ourselves in preventing incidents and accidents and even drownings before they happen. We're there to educate the public as far as what the rules are set forth by DCNR for Presque Isle, but we're also there to make sure that we answer any questions they have. Just because Presque Isle gets nearly 4,000 visitors a year doesn't mean every one of them's coming to Presque Isle to swim. It may be the middle of summer, but they may want to know about Perry Monument or the pontoon boat excursions, or they're just there to visit and observe the park as a whole and see the inner beauties of the lagoon system or the lighthouses. So we also educate the public a lot as to not just what Presque Isle has to offer for them, but also being ambassadors to Erie and to Erie County as far as places to stay, restaurants to try, those types of things. But again, our main philosophy is prevention and focusing on the swimming areas that are designated, and again adjusting to those constant changing conditions that we experience hour by hour, day by day at Presque Isle.
What might a visitor who maybe hasn't been to Erie before, it sounds like it's a lake, obviously, so it sounds very nice and peaceful and calm. What's so unique about Lake Erie when it comes to lifeguarding?
So Lake Erie is considered surf-style open water. we do, like I said, we provide swimming areas for the public and boundaries for them to swim in. But there's days where Lake Erie is calm and flat, and then there's days where there's a strong north wind at 20 miles an hour, and it looks like the ocean. Lake Erie is the shallowest of the Great Lakes. With that being said, it doesn't take much wind coming across the lake. And again, you're looking at, in some spots, 30, 40, 50 miles of open water across to Canada, where that wind and that current and those waves just continuously build. And the first piece of land it can hit is Presque Isle. So with that being said, Lake Erie is the deadliest of the Great Lakes, based solely on the fact that it's the shallowest. And hence why, for all the history buffs out there, that's why there's so many shipwrecks from over the years, that it just doesn't take much wind to kick up any significant type of current. When we have those conditions, we pride ourselves on being physically fit and in shape, and our skills being top notch, where we'll set up our swimming areas to the safest water in the conditions that we are being presented at the time. And again, those change by the hour. But we will do our very best to give the public an option to safely enjoy those types of conditions when they are presented to us.
And does Lake Erie get rip currents?
So Presque Isle, we experience a lateral current, and a lot of that has to do with the curvature of the shoreline. You'll be in shallow water and you'll laterally get pushed to the east or to the west, and you'll get pushed into deeper water. And for the individual that's in the water, it will look like they're being taken out or swept away, but they're literally just taken laterally with the shoreline. And a lot of that has to do with the curvature of the shoreline, and how the tombolas tend to grow from this in the sand out towards the breakwalls. But it's truly a lateral current that we experience off of Presque Isle and Lake Erie.
And dealing dealing with those strong currents, and the way that you train the lifeguards that are up and coming, what do you look for in those candidates that are looking to apply? And I know you mentioned physically fit, but what are some of those things?
Yeah, so males or females, 16 years of age or older. Again, you have to be a strong swimmer, but you don't need to be a state champion swimmer or a district champion swimmer. We're looking for individuals who are an overall solid athlete. We have had individuals on staff who have been a Division I volleyball player, or they've been on, the track or cross country team, and they're running 7-minute miles. But again, you have to be a strong swimmer in the water. And we do have some criteria that you will have to meet. But again, if anybody is even remotely considering that this might be something they'd like to explore, certainly just reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk to them one-on-one, individually, and just see where the potential candidate's at.
And are there any prerequisites in that they need to come with, knowledge of, first aid or CPR, or are those all things that are taught, once you get hired?
Yeah, so, 2 parts. I would have a 2-part response to this. First being, you do not have to be certified in lifeguarding, first aid, CPR to apply or to even be hired. If you are hired, we will certify you in everything that you need to be certified in. And that will be lifeguarding, first aid for child, infant, and adult, obstructed airway, CPR, AED, oxygen administration. We will certify you, and we'll build those certifications into your orientation, okay? So if there is someone out there that isn't certified, it's okay. Certainly apply if you have interest. And again, that's all paid training that the state provides for that new hire. Part 2 would be 2 things that we need candidates to be able to physically do in the pool is swim 2 laps of the pool, which is 50 yards, and that has to be accomplished in under 32 seconds. And the other thing is 550 yards, which is 22 laps of the pool, and that has to be accomplished in under 9 minutes and 40 seconds. As far as the rescues and the different kicks, those are all things that we can work with as far as educating and teaching the candidates in the pool. But the 2 biggest physical requirements would be the 50-yard freestyle and the 500-yard freestyle.
And what I was just thinking, by hearing all of the things that you're going to teach the candidates, once they become employed, is that this would be great to put on a resume.
Absolutely.
For when you maybe graduate college.
Sure.
And you have all of these skills that would be wonderful for another career as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have had guards on staff who have come to us, at 16, 17 years old, and they've evolved and worked their way up into, a supervisory role and stuff. And it's helped them determine that they want to get into healthcare, they want to be a nurse, or they want to be a firefighter. And again, one thing that separates Presque Isle and Lake Erie lifeguards from other lifeguards in the area and even in the state is our intense training. Every day that you work, you will get some type of training, whether it be physical training, whether it be skills training, whether it be classroom, where we'll bring in local professionals and educate the guards on different topics that will help them do their job and help them be successful in the different situations, whether it's an emergency situation or just answering questions of the public. We really do a very good job of giving the guards the tools that they need to be successful out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know you were talking about the training and the CPR, first aid, all of those type of trainings that you would be able to get once you are applied and ready to go. Could you talk to us about any scholarship opportunities that you might have with that?
Yes, absolutely. So for Presque Isle lifeguards, if you are a Presque Isle lifeguard, you will be eligible for scholarships. This year, the Presque Isle Lifeguard Association, which is a group of retired former Presque Isle lifeguards, they will be awarding one $1,000 scholarship to one current Presque Isle lifeguard, and then they will be awarding 4 separate $250 scholarships for a Presque Isle lifeguard. And there's some criteria that needs met, where they have to volunteer and assist with some of the events and stuff that we have, and they have to be in good standing and everything. But it really is a nice opportunity for the Presque Isle Lifeguard Association to give back and to give the current guards something to strive for towards the end of summer as far as that scholarship money.
No, that's really good. And I mean, it gives them something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Especially in deciding what colleges they want to go to, or if this is a lifelong career, like you have made it a lifelong career for you.
Right. Mm-hmm. And just to clarify for the scholarship, we've had high school students earn the scholarship in the past, and they'll just hold on to that until they get to their post high school career, whether it's a 2-year program or a 4-year program. You don't have to. The high school students are eligible for that every summer as well, as long as they meet the criteria.
That's fantastic. And so, in talking about all of the education that you give them, do you partner with anyone locally to help put on those trainings?
Yes. So we have a very good relationship with AHN and St. Vincent's here in Erie. They're going to provide this summer. They're going to provide 4 medical lecture series for us, and it's going to be a local ER doc, local physicians, a PHRN, and even the paramedics. And they even bring individuals up from AGH down in Pittsburgh, and they come and work with us for the day. And they'll cover everything from childbirth to trauma. They're going to do a high-intensity CPR class for us this summer, where they're going to bring the mannequins and the iPads, and the Presque Isle lifeguards will be able to individually and with 2-man CPR, they'll be able to see their compression rates and their breath rate, or the effectiveness of their breaths. And it's a learning tool that these guards can learn from and say, wow, I need to do a little bit better if I have to do this in real life. Mm-hmm. And again, they work with our first responders, and they'll cover additional trainings and stuff, Stop the Bleed, just to name another one. Mm-hmm. It's really a great partnership, and we love having them, and I'm pretty confident they love coming to Presque Isle and educating our guards as they do, other people and organizations in the community.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's such a rewarding experience, being a lifeguard, and again, appreciating, what AHN can provide, again, to the lifeguards, because then that really trickles down through our community, and then would benefit somebody, in their time of need the most.
Absolutely. And, these guards are learning skills that, hopefully they're not using them every day as far as the life-saving skills and the CPR skills. But again, it's something they can take with them. And it could be the middle of January, and they could be somewhere in the community, and someone could need assistance, and we've had it happen before with our staff where they've gone and assisted someone having a medical emergency, and they knew enough just on the training that they received at Presque Isle. So it's a really good thing, not just for Presque Isle and that additional education for the guards, but it's something they can take with them. And if it is needed out in the community, they could certainly assist.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and for someone who is considering to apply to become a Lake Erie lifeguard, what advice would you give them, and how can they apply? Is there an online or website that they could go to?
Sure. So they're going to apply online at www.employment.pa.gov. Make sure they apply for Lake Erie lifeguard, specifically to Presque Isle. The starting wage would be $18.05 an hour for a first-year guard. If they'd like to give us a call, we'd be happy to talk to any potential candidate, and that phone number is 833-0526. We would spend as much time talking with them just to clarify things or try to make things as simple as possible. My advice would be, even if you have the slightest little inkling that you might want to do this, I would encourage that individual to do it. I can assure you it's going to be a lot of hard work. But I guarantee you it'll be rewarding. And the other thing I guarantee you is you will make friends, and friendships will last for a lifetime with this job. We are a very knit, close group. We spend a lot of time together in the summer, and we do a lot of different trainings and workouts and team building. It's really a phenomenal job, and I can give you names and numbers of individuals who have guarded in the past, and they will tell you it is the best job they ever had, and they would give one more day for it.
Mm-hmm. So, Steve, I know our show is coming to a close here. Is there anything that beachgoers can do to make the lifeguards' jobs easier?
Sure. We would appreciate a few of these for sure. The one is, make sure you're swimming in the designated area at Presque Isle on a guarded beach, and that'll be determined by the buoys in the water will mark the swimming area, and there will be cones with a different colored flag. It'll either be green, yellow, or red. Make sure you're in the designated swimming area. The other thing is, make sure that parents, guardians are keeping a close eye on their children. We understand that things happen, and we understand that kids can be kids and they just like to run off. But it's really important that when we have a lost individual, that they give us a good description, and we can activate that and get the park rangers involved, and we can relocate that individual as well. So those are probably the two biggest things: swimming in the designated swimming areas and making sure that everybody in your group, you're kind of keeping a watchful eye on yourselves.
Thank you. Those are good reminders to have.
Yeah, especially for people who are coming into town. We all think of this as common sense,
right.
But when you're out with your family, you're just out and about trying to enjoy the day, and then certain things happen where your child gets lost, or they're going into the water unsupervised, and you can't really determine how that's going to happen in a day like that. Mm-hmm. But luckily we do have lifeguards that are there, that are capable
yeah.
of taking care of those individuals if that time came about.
Absolutely. And again, we want, Presque Isle is such a beautiful, amazing place, and it offers so much, not just swimming. And we want everyone that comes down to Presque Isle, we want them to leave the same way, if not happier than they arrived. Mm-hmm. And if they have any issues, certainly just reach out to the nearest lifeguard, whether it's swimming related or not. We'd be happy to assist with the public in any way we can.
Wonderful. Steve, I know our time is come to a close here now, but is there any one last thing that you want to share, or maybe just, one thing that has really stood out for you as one of the most impactful things, either during your lifeguarding time or now as the manager?
I will say no 2 days are the same. Mm-hmm. And if you like to be outside, and if you like to, stay in shape, and you like team building, this would be a really good job for you.
Mm-hmm. It is. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, and doing everything, the lifeguards doing everything that they do to protect all of our families all summer long. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, again, if you know of anybody who is a strong athlete, the Presque Isle lifeguard position might be the job for them. It's a great pay, and you just need to go online and apply with the DCNR, and you're going to have a strong bond with your coworkers and learn a lot of great skills for the future. So I want to thank you for tuning in to today's show, and until next time, have a great day.